Tonight on Q2, winds a whipping.
I mean, it was rough. It was the craziest flight I've ever been on.
Howling winds sending dust and tumbleweeds down streets in parts of Montana and canceling flights in the sky. Plus, big timber's big problem.
It really did affect us. We had to close early with a whole pile of pastries still left.
The city was without water most of the day. We'll have the latest and eyes on the future.
We're going to look at their cases, we're going to look at their credits, and we're going to say, look, you have a pathway.
Billings looking to bring 3 new charter schools to the district. We'll have all the details. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Russ Riesinger. The weather certainly changing out there as heavy winds moved in some cooler temperatures. Those winds reaching nearly 60 miles per hour in Billings and 70 miles an hour in other parts of the state, knocking down several trees and power lines across the area. They also wreaked havoc on air travel and outdoor activities this afternoon. With more on that, here's MTN's David J.
The wind affecting a lot of things. No sports cancellations, no practices were canceled. Up here at Billings-Logan International Airport, the big planes did fairly well, but some of the smaller planes had some cancellations and some diversions. Several Cape Air Essential Air Service flights had to be canceled on Tuesday, and the flight from Sydney to Billings took a detour and landed in Miles City.
Well, when they tell you to put your seatbelt on because there could be a little turbulence, if I had had my seatbelt on that flight, I would not have stayed in my seat. It was the roughest flight I've ever had.
Steve Thusen was among 5 passengers who landed in Miles City and came back to Billings on a shuttle. Cape Air had to cancel many of its flights on its 9 passenger airplanes.
We did have to cancel, unfortunately, due to the winds. We were at 40, gusting 45 knots, which is over the legal limit for our planes. And we had one diversion to Miles City for safety issues, just to make sure.
And over at Amen Park, high school playoff soccer went on as scheduled, with the senior girls defeating Great Falls 1-0.
Playing against the wind, it adds a whole nother element to the game. And when you don't have the wind, you have to play smart, and you got to keep the ball on the ground. And so I think we did a pretty good job doing that the first half. And I was happy to get out of the first half with zeros. And then we finally put one away late in the second half, and we held on to the win.
We never really shut down over the wind.
Mark Sulzer, School District 2 Director of Athletics and Activities, says it takes some pretty severe weather to cancel games. And he says other high school athletes were able to practice.
They just go out and do their thing if they're an outside sport. We have cross country and football left that are still practicing besides soccer, and they're outside, and then of course volleyball's inside, so it won't affect them.
A win is a win, and it's good. So obviously we're excited. We're excited to continue on.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Those winds have died down a little tonight, but with more on how it looks over the next couple of days, here's Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Here's the scene tonight, Russ, as we take a look over towards Miles City. And if you look right around the street lamps, you can see where we still have some of the rain showers coming down. But today was mainly about the wind. Look at the temperatures well above the seasonal highs, 56 mile per hour wind gusts. This precipitation total is going to be updated. That was from earlier in the day, but of course the showers coming down. Winds today, check out some of the stronger winds. Of course, I mentioned Miles City, areas across eastern Montana seeing wind gusts pretty routinely at over 50 miles an hour. How about older Golden Valley, North Dakota, winds today gusting up to 76 miles per hour. Around the Jordan area, we saw a 70 mile per hour wind gust. That was the strongest in Montana. More on the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
A grizzly bear in Cody is causing some concern tonight. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department confirmed reports of an adult male being located within city limits over the weekend. That bear was seen around the Paul Stock Nature Trail, which is on the city's northern edge, near several homes and residential areas. The bear was not captured, and they don't believe it has left despite efforts to haze the bear. Game and Fish is floating the river to monitor for the bear, and the city has been posting signs to alert people of its presence. Water service to the city of Big Timber has been restored tonight. The city was on a boil order, and Big Timber businesses and schools were forced to close after a construction crew hit a main line this morning. The city says pressure and flow should now be back to normal, but the water may appear cloudy due to the amount of air that was introduced into the system. A boil water advisory does remain in effect tonight. That advisory is due to the loss of system pressure, which could allow contaminants into the water. Despite the problem being fixed, the impact was felt across the city today.
It really did affect us. We had to close early with a whole pile of pastries still left. There were several groups we had to turn away, or they would just come in and get pastries, which at least we still had that from, earlier in the day.
The boil water advisory will be in effect until next Tuesday, October 24th at the earliest. Billings School District 2 is seeking approval to open 3 charter schools. Those schools include an opportunity school, an early college charter high school, and a newcomer school, which would be home to dozens of students who'll be soon moving to Montana as part of the refugee resettlement program. Tonight, our Charlie Kleps digs deeper into the plans and when they might become reality.
2 of those charter schools will likely end up here on the 3rd floor of the Lincoln Center, where the superintendent says the primary goal is to maximize the space the district already has.
All we want is for every child to have a pathway.
The halls on the 3rd floor of the Lincoln Center may be empty now.
At this time, we are going to maximize the capacity of the Lincoln Center.
But in just a few short months, these classrooms will likely be filled with students taking advantage of new charter schools.
And if we're strategic on how we reshuffle things at the Lincoln, we will be able to have about 8 to 10 classrooms.
Those classrooms will be full of students enrolled in an early college charter school where students can graduate with both a high school degree and an associate's degree. And the Lincoln Center will also house the Opportunity School, which hopes to help reach students that often slip through the cracks.
Just from the beginning of the school year to now, we've had 90 students that drop out.
Superintendent Garcia says this new charter school would reach out to past dropout students to give a new chance to graduate.
We're going to look at their cases, we're going to look at their credits, and we're going to say, look, you have a pathway.
Garcia believes 200 students would make up those 2 programs in year 1, but they aren't the only ones that will cause some restructuring in the district.
We are expected to receive about 100 people, and we estimate about 35 to 50 students coming in.
A small number of refugees have found their way to Billings for a variety of reasons, and the families really thrived in the Billings area.
James Horan is the president of a Denver-based group that is working to bring 100 refugees from countries still to be determined to Billings beginning in January, all of which undergo extensive screening.
There are a number of models, including the charter school model, and that generally they have been very effective.
Horan believes the charter school proposed will work in Billings, as he's seen it done in other communities across the country. Garcia says this charter school is the one still looking for a home, although if the state approves their application for the 3 schools, the district will receive nearly $1 million in funding.
We are looking for rental space using that base funding so we can provide that education to our students.
A big potential change, adding 3 charter schools to Billings that Garcia says will enrich the educational experience.
When you do the right thing for kids, there's always excitement. We are making these plans as a win-win for our community.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
A Billings man, formerly of Hayes, Montana, was arraigned today on a 20-count federal indictment alleging child sex abuse, child sexual exploitation, child pornography, and other crimes. Now, all of those crimes involve multiple victims dating back some 31 years on the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation. 57-year-old James Kirby King pled not guilty in federal court. The indictment alleges from 1992 to 2018, King sexually abused or attempted to sexually abuse minor children and adults. In addition, King is accused of drugging his victims while sexually abusing them. The victims allegedly include 2 minor girls, a female adult, and 1 minor boy. If convicted, he faces a maximum of life in prison. The Salt Lake City FBI is now asking anyone who may have been victimized by King or have knowledge of crimes to come forward. You can contact the Salt Lake City FBI or visit their website with any information. Well, COVID cases and hospitalizations are on the rise around the Billings area as a new variant of the virus makes the rounds. Health officials say that variant is more mild but also more infectious. MTN's Jackie Coffin has the latest information on COVID-19.
It's the time of year when a lot of us are catching a seasonal virus. But as symptoms for COVID-19 become more mild, how can you tell if it's just a cold or something more? I found out what to look for this cold and COVID season. A cough, sore throat. The latest variant of COVID popping up this season has familiar symptoms, but it's having a less severe impact on people it infects.
For the most part, they're staying for just a couple days in the hospital. So very different from what we saw early on when we had 150 patients in our hospitals and 40 or 45 of those in the intensive care unit.
Dr. Neil Koo at Billings Clinic has seen the virus change from the onset of the pandemic to now, as the variant Omicron and its subvariants account for every COVID case.
For the past several weeks, we have seen an uptick in the number of cases identified through our urgent care and emergency rooms. But certainly that these numbers are not anywhere near what we have seen in the past 3 years.
Riverstone Health reports as of October 7th, 111 Yellowstone County residents tested positive for COVID at a healthcare facility. Statewide, 733 people tested positive for COVID. These numbers don't include positive results people may be getting testing at home, and the virus can still be deadly.
So we just need to be careful.
And the same questions roll over into a new season of COVID. Should people get a vaccine booster?
I'm a big proponent of vaccines. They're very safe.
Everyone should consider getting it because it's not just, you're not protecting just yourself, but you're protecting everyone in your household and within the community.
And what is the protocol if you do test positive?
Recommend isolation. That means definitely staying away and taking all the necessary precautions for at least 5 days.
Riverstone and local pharmacies offer the COVID-19 vaccine, though Billings Clinic is still waiting on a shipment so it can offer the vaccine as well.
Probably the best sources to find out vaccine information, availability information, is just to go to that vaccine.gov and they'll give you a list.
Helping people stay safe and healthy this cold, flu, and COVID season. In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
Well, still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2. Roadway dangers. Parents grow concerned as a busy Billings intersection becomes a hot spot for crashes. And in sports, battling back, Bridger's quarterback has overcome injury issues to lead a Scouts resurgence on the field. We'll hear from him coming up in just a bit.